intelligence brings success, yeah. Understand yourself and others and love your pets, yeah.
Good citizens of the earth. Hope everybody's well. What is it? What is it today? Wednesday, Thursday? Wednesday, I believe. And we're back. I love spending time with you guys. Thanks for watching. We got a cool guest today. I actually had this gentleman on the calendar for about a month here. He's very busy. So we were able to get him when he had some time off, and I think you're gonna love the story. Number one, he's from the pet industry and he's from Miami. Now, let me just say, I live in South Florida. You don't meet many people that actually from Miami. So this is going to be an interesting story. Today we got Alexandre Contreras, and I'm going to introduce him. Now listen to this resume before we get Alexander going and telling his story, because the story is amazing. Number one, he's a vet tech. You don't see many men in that particular space, so that's amazing. And you guys know I'm a pet lover. This is the Emotional Pet Guy podcast, so it's all about emotional intelligence and pets, particularly. How do we understand ourselves better? That way we can understand other people and be more efficient on how we communicate and get things done in this world. And that's what you're going to hear from Alexander. So Vet Tech, certified canine massage therapist. He's the founder, and that's important. I love the word founder. That means that he really has some understanding and he made some real deal changes on this earth. Founder of Dog Appy in 2010. He invented the Clip Trio in 2016. We're going to talk about all these companies because he's got a lot of them. He's founded Innovative Pet Product LLC in 2022. He founded Pet Trio Charity in 2022, a busy man. And then in 2022, he won the DVM 360 Vet Tech of the Year. Wow. He's a speaker with the Youth Veterinary Initiative, and he's a husband, father, and a rescue pet parent from Miami, man. Alexandra, welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me here today. We got it in the books. Finally, our schedules aligned there with the universe. And I'm just so grateful to be on the podcast today and just, get to tell my journey and my story. And I guarantee you by the end of this podcast, a lot of people will definitely be motivated because at the end of the day, I'm no different than anyone on this earth. I just stay with the same passion and dedication that has a young child now into my adulthood. And I plan on just maintaining that same passion heading forward, man.
No, man, we're going to jump into it. We're going to learn a lot about you today, and I appreciate you saying that because I think one of the biggest things, especially in this day and time, with a lot of change going on, a lot of negativity, people need inspirational stories to see a regular person like yourself, like myself, out here pushing the envelope and get some things done, man. So look, you're from Miami. Tell me about growing up in Miami. Now, I find it interesting. I've lived in South Florida. I lived in Miami for about 5 years. My wife lived down there longer. I met her there. And now we moved away, moved back. We live in Fort Lauderdale now. But I always like talking to native Miamians because, number one, you're always very down to earth and good people. I don't know what it is. And you may not think that about Miami because Miami can be a little superficial and everything else. But the people that are actually born and raised here are always down to earth good people. Tell us about growing up in Miami, man, so we can figure out how you became who you are.
Definitely. So obviously I'm first generation Cuban American into this country, obviously with the sacrifices that my grandpa did to get the family started here. And originally we were born in Houston, Texas. That's where I was born.
Okay.
But I was only there till I was 2 years old. And obviously we came down here to South Florida. Been here my whole life, Adrian. Obviously my upbringing, man, I'm glad, like I mentioned, I get to tell a lot of my story because it goes back to my grandpa. My late grandpa was the one that really instilled in me this love and attraction and passions for animals at a young age. He would literally sit me in front of the TV. I would watch the Animal Planet, the Discovery Channel, Nat Geo Wild, all those animal-related programs. So I was truly fixated at an early age that I wanted to be in the veterinarian profession and in the pet industry at some capacity, right? And every time I get to tell my story, it just slings back to my grandpa and obviously him planting that seed on me early on in my life.
Awesome, man. Was your grandpa in the pet industry? He just had a lot of pets?
No, it's just a Cuban farmer guy that was doing it in Cuba, decided to come to the U.S., tried it on a small scale here, and that's how I was able to get introduced to it that way. But he wasn't a doctor. He wasn't a professional or anything of that capacity. He just shared that bonding experience with me watching Animal Planet and the Discovery Channel and things like that.
That's awesome, man. And I'm sure he's proud of you. I heard you say late grandfather. So, and my grandmother passed away about 12 years ago. And every day I wake up and it's not present in my mind every single day. And I tell people, it's really about for me, and it's probably the same for someone like yourself, is making her proud. Right? If I feel like if I'm making my grandmother proud and doing the things that she set in play. I got a great mother and still alive and still a huge part of my life, but my grandmother was too. So I always appreciate when people give their grandparents credit, man. I'm sure he's proud of you. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
So, and you have a child?
Yeah, I got a 14-year-old boy and I got a 4-year-old son. So they're keeping me busy here. And another thing that's interesting about this whole journey too, Adrian, is that they get to see my hard work and my persistence, my dedication of everything I've been trying to accomplish. So at the end of the day, it's kind of like I'm instilling in them what my grandpa instilled in me. Whether they want to carry that on later on, my grandpa never pressured me. He just showed me the opportunity and I just kept rolling with it. So if that's what I can give over to my sons, then so be it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So you're kind of both ends of the world like me. You got an 18-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old daughter. So yeah, you're at both ends of the world. There's two different worlds too. So yeah. I'm a first generation entrepreneur. My family all punched the clock, right? At some point. Are you first generation, or was your grandfather or somebody else in your family entrepreneurs?
I'm first generation entrepreneurship, first generation businessman, first generation taking risks. This truly is generational change on the things that I'm trying to accomplish. So yeah, that's why it was scary in the beginning. But I looked at that edge and I said, the only way that I will ever be successful at anything, and I've always been a cautious person, never take any risks. I realized that in order to sometimes get ahead in this entrepreneur life, you just got to jump off the cliff and just do it,
Wow, man. So you started in 2010 as an entrepreneur?
Yeah.
With the dog Appy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we'll get into the companies, but I want to kind of give a timeline for people because you said something that's important. Now, again, this podcast is about emotional intelligence, everyone, and mindset especially, and I think this is going to be huge with Alexandre. So you were a cautious person up until when?
So you're gonna love this, man. So I've always been a cautious person at nature. And again, I attribute that to my upbringing. I grew up in a single family household with one mom trying to raise two kids. Mm-hmm. So early on, I had to learn how to be the man of the house, but also not getting us in risks and doing risky things, obviously to provide for the family. So again, that's what instilled that entrepreneur mindset, even at a young age. If we ever wanted to take the burden off my mom, if my brother and I ever wanted extra things at the time, whether it was the Sega Genesis, the game console, the latest sneakers or anything like that, my brother and I had to find ways of doing that on our own, whether I was washing cars, cutting the grass, and things like that. So early on, I kind of knew not to dabble in things that were risky because I knew the consequences to that. And I also wanted to show my mom that, yeah, we don't have a dad in the house right now. We have my grandpa there instilling us morals, and character. But at the end of the day, my brother and I had to figure out how can we provide for ourselves without overburdening our mom. You know what I mean? And then That's where I kind of learned that risk to reward ratio at a young age. And I figured if I'm coming from an environment where even most of my friends to this day are doing risky things, and I look at where they ended up, I realized that I made all the right decisions because I didn't take those paths. So I was always a cautious kid. And obviously, looking up to my older brother and seeing all the mistakes that he made in his life that led him to incarceration and things like that, I learned how to kind of scale down and know when to push and when to kind of pull early on.
Yeah, so then what that it did, it informed you, gave you a foundation that you could then take calculated risks. It's a beautiful thing. And that's why I wanted to parse that out, because you hit it nail on the head, is that you understood enough about what was going on in your life at the time and the place that you had in it, but you paid attention so that when you became in 2016, when you're like 28, 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you saw the opportunity in the space you were in with pets, right? And So that's amazing, man. And that I think a lot of people have a challenge with entrepreneurship or just change and doing something new, reinventing themselves, new career, new relationship. And a lot of reasons that people stay within an environment that they don't want to be in is because they can't do what you did. And that's flip that switch and say, hey, this is who I am, and this is who I know I am, and I have that foundation. But my mindset can flip and get some other things done. That's beautiful. So look, tell me about, from an entrepreneurship perspective and life as well. You have children, you have a career, and you're also a founder over here. What are some of the biggest challenges you face, man, and how do you overcome them?
Oh man, there's so many fronts when it comes to the challenges and try to overcome them. But like I mentioned, one of the big ones is always the mindset, man. Adjusting your mindset to realize that you're positioned to be what you want to be in life, but you got to put in some work, whether that's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You're going to have to put some work to it. And I was fortunate enough that I grew up in an environment where I saw a bunch of negativity on every front, on every corner, even in the same household, even in the same bed that you lay to next with the next person. I saw all this world of negativity, and I adjusted my mindset in knowing that I don't want to follow these negative thoughts. So even when it comes to having a negative thought, I will always switch back to, okay, Alex, what's the upside to this? What's the positive outlook on this? You're breathing, you're healthy, everybody's okay. Okay, you don't got the money in the bank to start up the funding capital you need. That's fine. You're breathing, you're alive, you got the next 24 hours. Find a way to switch that. So it's a constant back and forth. But one thing I'm learning, Adrian, on this journey, and it's something that most entrepreneurs probably find themselves stuck in, between juggling imposter syndrome, which I knew nothing about up until this journey. Basically, it's where you feel like you don't deserve these things or you're not capable of accomplishing these things. Again, that's that negativity mindset of being conditioned to always feel negatively about something, right?
Sure.
So I learned that even in that kind of brain shift, I realized like, no, wait a minute here, bro. I busted my ass. I've educated myself. I've done nothing wrong to nobody. I always out to lending a helping hand. I should be rewarded with these things because I'm putting the time into them, right? But we always have to kind of learn and focus on why. Why are we trying to accomplish this? Why are we doing this? So whenever I find myself in that conundrum where I'm relating to the imposter syndrome, I realize, no, Alex, this is why I developed this. This is why I'm trying to accomplish this. And this is why I want to try to leave this legacy behind. So that's my kind of brain hack to try to get over those barriers that happen every day, every 3 hours, every 4 hours. Who knows how many times, but they're going to continue to come. You just got to find a way to kind of shift that mindset.
Yeah, I love it, man. So I always say dreams are good, but then you got to wake up, right? And then you got to be intentional. Intentionality. And that's what you just spoke about, is that you're gonna, number one, believe. Believing in yourself is an intentional thing. As a matter of fact, I say if you don't believe in yourself, you don't believe in anything.
Yeah.
It starts with you. So, number one, work on your self-belief. And it doesn't have to be out of this world and you're going to go to the moon. It can literally be that you're going to be nice to people today, right? I mean, but then being intentional about those steps, man. Are you a curious person?
Oh, definitely. I think I've gotten here my whole life because I've been a curious person. And if there's something that I don't know, I try to find out so I can know about it. So curiosity didn't kill the cat. Curiosity just got the cat to realize, hey, I'm not going over there again. You know what I mean? That was a good one, actually.
That was a jewel. That was a gem right there. So give us a little more about your process of being curious, because I think curiosity is the beginning of everything. And if you don't have a desire, a lot of people don't have a desire to be curious, man. People want the end result, but they don't realize that it's a process to that. And it really is start with being curious. I'm talking about anything, a new relationship, new marriage, new job, new career, new product, launching something, a charity. Tell us about how you go down the curiosity route.
Yeah, definitely. So that pins back to when I started my career as a veterinarian technician. Again, going back to my grandpa, watching the Animal Planet, things like that. As soon as I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to be in the veterinarian profession at some capacity, right? So as soon as I graduated from high school, enrolled in an online EDU at the time, which was called Penn Foster, to become a veterinarian technician. Got that 2-year program, got that certification. Literally started out in an animal hospital working in the back kennels in an AHA accredited animal hospital. That's part of the American Animal Hospital Association. They're basically like the Ritz-Carlton of veterinary medicine, right? And I always plug them in, Town and Country Animal Hospital in Kendall, because they literally gave me a career, Adrian. Started out as a kennel assistant, rose all the way to be their lead dental technician in that animal hospital. Out of my 19-year career as a technician, 10 of those years was at that one practice in particular, which is very rare. Most technicians usually burn out within like year 4 or year 5, they're out the door. But the fact that I stayed there that long was a true testament that this is something that I wanted to do. It wasn't a fad. It wasn't a trend. This is what I wanted to do. The veterinarians there entrusted in my skill set. They elevated me. They gave me the opportunities to grow. So I repeated that back with loyalty and staying with them. In that tenure there at Town and Country Animal Hospital, I became a certified canine massage therapist. This is where that entrepreneur influence kind of reignited itself in me, Adrian. I saw that by massaging dogs, it started out as a joke with friends and families. I started to realize that some of these animals were getting a lot of health benefits behind it, especially a lot of my neighbors' arthritic dogs. And I realized, like, man, some of these strategies and things that I'm learning in the program correlate back to human medicine and the use of massage therapy for like sports athlete and rehab. I'm going to keep doing this for the animals that I see every day at work. And I started to do that. And I started to realize now I'm getting clients. Now I'm getting word of mouth. I was like, you know what? I think I should start a little service business here. And that's what spawned on to bring about Dogapy, which is obviously massage therapy for dogs. I was now being able to balance being a technician full time and now a business kind of owner entrepreneur as a joke with Dogapy. And I was able to equally balance them both out, Adrian. But what led me to that point from shifting as a technician to this entrepreneur route was that curiosity of seeing, man, damn, well, this is working over here. It's working for humans. Let me apply it in the animal field and see what happens. And I was able to kind of create that curiosity. And from there, it was just a snowball effect, Adrian. That led me to 2016. That was my entrepreneur kind of innovator light bulb moment that Edison probably had at one point. I was sitting there 2016, Adrian, you're going to love this. I was binge watching multiple episodes of Shark Tank with my 6-year-old son at the time. He was 6. And I'm seeing people coming on that show, Adrian, creating products, services, and business, making millions of dollars, right? And I'm like, wait a minute. Those people on that TV are no different from me. They brush their teeth the same. They put the shoes on the same. They probably wipe their ass the same. They just decided and saw a need to improve something that they've seen in their work environment for numerous years. So sure enough, 2016, Adrian, I'm sitting there scratching my head. I'm saying, wait a minute. What in the veterinary profession can be improved, made better, and definitely safer, not only for the technicians performing the task and for the everyday pet owner, but also for the patients that we're treating, right? And I happened to stumble across one of the most overlooked aspects in the animal care profession, and I put my name on that stamp. It's the dreadful nail trimming process in animals. We hate trimming animals' nails. I don't care how much of a skilled trained technician you are, if you got a master's, an MBA, or a doctorate. Unfortunately, it's only human error, Adrian. You're going to nip it quick. And when that happens, we're talking on a global front. We have to yell for one of our techs to bring us this jar, this dinosaur thing called styptic powder. It's the yellow medicine that stops an animal's nails from bleeding, Adrian. We have to pop this cap open. We have to pour its contents on the table. We have to dab our fingers now on that powder, grab that animal's engineer, try to safely place it on there, only to create this huge mess. Little did I know that curiosity will take me on a 4.5-year journey through the patenting process, Adrian. I secured two U.S. utility patents on the first ever disposable stick powder cartridge and the first ever 3-in-1 pet nail trimmer with an integrated stainless steel nail file right on the actual handle, virtually making it a 3-in-1 tool. Cut the animal's nail, file the animal's nail. In the event that you make the mistake of nipping it quick, you grab your cartridge, snap it in, stick the animal's injured nail through here. It penetrates the soft silicone rubber, getting you past this very thin aluminum heat seal, essentially giving you a cleaner, hygienic application of styptic powder in the most hygienic fashion possible, right? All that led by curiosity. 4.5 years, I had to keep my mouth shut again through all the legal jargon, bootstrap my ass all the way past this way. 2022 was my breakout year, and I was able to openly speak about my product. I've been on 2 veterinary magazine covers. I won 3 awards so far, and my product hasn't even hit the market yet. I knew what I had on my hands in 2016, Adrian. Did I even tattoo the name of the brand on my
Wow, I
forearm?
love it.
That's how all in I was on this. And what led me here? That curiosity of realizing that if someone else can go on national TV and create something that's going to impact an industry, why can't I have that same opportunity as well?
Amen. That's it, man. Curiosity leads to creativity. You just talked about it, which then leads to clarity.
Yep.
Amazing. And then when the clarity brings the new thing that you amazing, man. We're gonna jump into the clips to your there's a clip strip, right? Clip
Trio.
Clip trio. Sorry. Clip trio. We're gonna jump into that. But we gotta talk about the process that you got there, because that's important. Because what you did is what you sitting there looking at Shark Tank. And I've gone through this process as an entrepreneur and founder as well. But a lot of people don't know, number one, where to start, then number two, how to sustain it, and then number three, to even be sitting here talking about you about to launch it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So we gotta go through that. So let me see. All right. So we talked about your mindset. We talked about the challenges you overcame. So innovation, because you sat there and watched Shark Tank. Your curiosity said, I could do that too. How? What do I need to do? You stumbled over a problem. Now, you jumped through those 4 years like it was nothing. Tell us about innovation, man, because innovation is a whole nother deal. A lot of people want to go buy a product and promote it, or like that's a very simple concept that you created right there, and that's the best kind. And they're the hardest to find. They're the hardest to create because it's so simple. And I agree. One of the things we do at our stores that people love, so we need to get some of your product. But cutting nails is like this. It's amazing how many people it attracts, because nobody knows how to do it. No offense to the vets, but it's a stressful thing for people to go to the vet to get the dog's nails cut and get the cat's nails cut. So coming to a store is very simple because they're in, they're out, nobody, you know what I mean? So tell us about how you created such a simple concept that changes the game. What was the innovation like?
It like Lori says on Shark Tank, it's a better mousetrap. And the simplest ideas are always the best ideas, and they're the ones that are always overlooked.
Agreed.
Most people that try to get a product and innovate it, they'll overkill it. Yeah. Meaning they'll add extra features that are worthless or look good, sound good, but are not.
You don't need them.
Exactly. So when I looked at this, the basic concept, the basic pain point here, Adrian, was you're gonna nip the quick. Let's be honest. Forget about nail clippers that have a safety guard. Forget about Dremels that make loud noises. Listen, it's going to happen. Yeah. Instead of having to grab this big old jar, how can I make that more containable? How can I make that more in a hygienic way of applying? But most importantly, how can I make sure that it's fresh at every usage? Because believe it or not, this isn't a insider trade secret or anything. But in the veterinarian office, this thing, when we open it, we don't know when we open it. Half the time there's hair, contaminants in there, old nail clippings. You even find blood underneath the cap sometimes. Everybody in the industry knows this. Yeah. So that was my main thing, Alex. Let's get away from the jar. Let's make it easily accessible. And most importantly, let's make it hygienic. And then that's where that brainstorm started. And you're right. I kind of zoomed through that 4-year gap there. But man, in between all those years and all that time, I focused so much on the engineering of this product, as dumb as it may sound. I focused 1 whole month on just the spring tension itself, how the spring load feels, how I want it to feel. I got with the engineers that created the CAD design for this, and I told them, hey, listen, man, I want you to focus on this like if this was the brains of the whole operation, because it really is the tension of the product. And then from there, I moved on the texture of the product. How do I want it to feel? Do I want it slippery? Do I want it grippy? Do I want to make sure that we don't have any small little openings in here where debris will build up? So I thought of every possible avenue, even to the point, Adrian, when you get this and you snap it in, you hear that patented that security, I focused 100% because I know that once we're there in the trenches, cutting nails and these things drop, I want to make sure that whenever this hits the ground, this doesn't come out because it's securely snap fitted in there. So that was another thing that I kind of focused on. I didn't know anything about project management. I didn't know anything about engineering. I just realized this is what I want. How do I want it to look? What are some pain points? Educated myself just on the basic concept of engineering and product management. And obviously, when you hire somebody to engineer this, at least you're not there thinking, what's a tension spring or what's a look like. I kind of knew the basic understandings and making sure that the curiosity once again.
So tell us about some setbacks. Anything that didn't happen right that you had to rethink and do better? Or tell us about that.
Yeah, man, the setbacks were hard in the beginning. First and foremost, a lot with the people that were around me, Adrian. People at the time, whether I considered them close friends, associates, they would drown me down with negativity. Alex, you're not going to secure the patents. This is so simple. Somebody probably already did it. Man, you're going to really leave your job to pursue a nail clipper, bro? Like, are you really going to do this? A lot of bad people around me trying to get me into deals, to sign this off early on. I was like, no, I know what I got in my hands. And again, man, even just starting that first initial patenting process, just the application fee alone at the time was $1,000. I remember I didn't have the funds at the time. I remember going to my mom and telling my mom, look, Mom, I got this great idea. I know we're both broke, but this is going to change our family. I need $1,000. My mom said, you know what, son? I know you're going to be successful with this. I'm not going to pay the mortgage on my house this month. Here's $1,000. Took those $1,000, Adrian, and little did I know that was going to be the start of something great here. Obviously, 4.5 years through the patenting process was not cheap. Luckily, I had some family friends that I can kind of go to, knock on the door and be like, hey, look, man, this is what I'm trying to accomplish. This is going to be for the good of the family. I need a couple $100 just to get me year by year. And sure enough, I stuck with that goddamn game plan for 4.5 years. In between those 4 years, getting rejected multiple times through the patenting process, but that's just the way the game goes. Finally, they had no choice but to say, give this man his 2 U.S. utility patents because he's already proven that nobody has thought of this. So let's protect this guy at all costs. But a lot went to the mindset, Adrian. I had to leave a lot of people behind, a lot of people that I thought were with me on the journey, which sad to say, those are the same people now coming around. Hey, how you doing? Everything's good. I said, you know what? Everything's good. I appreciate it. Thank you for always supporting me. But in the back of my mind, Adrian, I'm like, I know what box to put you in now, and you're going to be over here while I continue kind of moving forward.
Yeah, they showed you how to treat them. So At the end of the day, man, that's beautiful. You actually took me into my next question. You almost made me cry, man. And because I've been at this 11 years at my company, and it's tough, man. I started with my own money, like you. Still don't have enough money, setbacks, not paying bills, my family sacrificing for me. And so it almost brought a tear to my eye for your mom to sacrifice like that for you because she believes in you. And the reason she believes in you tonight, she loves you. Yeah, I mean, you just said it. People love you and they'll walk away, right? What your mom did and what you had the guts to ask for is the beauty of entrepreneurship. And it's really the difference of success and not success, man. So I understand. I say entrepreneurs are we're the closest to the earth. Like we'll walk around barefooted, essentially. Like we are out here on a limb and we're trying to find a way to bring our vision to life, man. So I always find a lot of a warm feeling in hearing what you just said because it takes other people. And a lot of times you don't know who those people were. Thank God it was your mom. Your grandfather had some that started it in you. Anybody else out there that's been a big supporter that you want to give a shout out to now?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, my mom, man, obviously for not obviously birthing me, but giving me the opportunity to start this on early on. And I definitely have to praise my son, my 14-year-old son right now, man. He saw the beginning journeys of this, Adrian, man, when he was 6. I was a single father at the time, raising him, and we literally sacrificed about 8 months. Adrian, I wouldn't go out, man. I wouldn't buy him any soccer stuff for soccer practice. I told him, yo, it's gonna be beans and rice for the next 2 months, bro. We eating beans and rice and eggs because daddy got to save some of this money to apply for the legal fees. And now he's starting to see, yeah, daddy still wears scrubs to go to work, but now I see him in business suits. I see him doing podcasts. I see him on magazine covers. So now he's reflecting, knowing, damn, what dad and I sacrificed when I was 6.
Changing generations, bro.
He'll be able to benefit. But the sad thing about all this, the 4-year-old, the baby gonna get everything.
Changing generations. Changing generations. Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, man.
Yeah. But definitely, Adrian, this journey has been, and it still is. And this is one thing that I definitely want to highlight because I'm still in it. Regardless of the magazine covers, all the opportunities to get to this point, it's really the access to capital. I'm finding this hard.
Hey, let's talk about it.
I'm not the type to ever pull a race card, but let's just say that if I was a lighter in skin complexion from a different environment, from a different upbringing, a different social class, I probably would have been on the Today Show or Good Morning America already. I probably would have had millions of dollars in funding already.
Yep.
But I realized I've gotten this far in my life because I've always had to work 10 times harder. So I have no problems working 10 times harder to accomplish what I need to.
Beautiful.
But I find myself, Adrian, in 2 worlds, meaning that when I put on my scrubs, I'm just the technician from South Florida, hungrier than ever to try to accomplish what I need to do. And then when I put on my suit and I'm navigating in rooms with people that are way smarter than me, more financially capable than me, better off than me, I realize I built myself to be in these rooms. I can hold myself in these rooms. But then when I have to go back and hang up my suit, I'm back into my scrubs. I'm back into what my life is and what my life can be. So I'm always kind of in those 2 worlds, currently still trying to marry them and move forward in what I'm trying to accomplish, you know?
No, bro, you preach to the choir. I mean, because access to capital, I got 3, I franchised my concept a couple of years ago. I started it 10 years ago, store, pet supply, all natural stuff with self-washes, right? Franchise, I've got 3 locations. I would have 30 locations if I could raise money like others. And it's nothing different about me. I'm probably smarter. I know I work harder. I know I've accomplished a lot of cool things that a lot of people haven't, but it's something about it that the capital just not right in. So keep doing what you're doing, bro, because number one, you're exactly right. The work ethic matters. You can't hide work. You can't. I don't care what you do. At some point, the seeds are going to grow. They're growing, man. I see you all over LinkedIn. And that's just me. Now, I'm one of you. Right, I'm in, number one. I'm in the same boat as you in a couple different ways. Right, so I wanted to highlight it. Number one, because I like what you're doing. I like you're humble, but you're hungry, and that's not a combination you see a lot. A lot of times, hungry people are arrogant. You're not. I love it. Number two, I know you got a product that makes sense. I'm telling you, one of the ways that when we get in order to open a new store and attract people, nail clipping. Is literally will attract 30, 40 people. No problem. So you got a hot product. Matter of fact, you want to can I buy it from you? I got like $10.
I'm gonna stamp it. I'm gonna stamp it right here, Adrian. When Clip Trio hopefully comes out to this market, I'm already gonna put 30 aside with your name on it. Just
beautiful,
for you
man.
to buy your stores. Very humble upbringing in this journey, man. That kind of ties me into why I started Pet Trio Charity. In the midst of all this going on with Clip Trio and on the business side of things, I always wanted to have a social calling attached to me, Adrian.
Yeah.
Pet
Well,
Trio
you got
Charity.
it, right? What is it called? And I'm not cutting you off. Keep talking, but what is the Youth Veterinary Initiative?
So the Youth Veterinary Initiative, I got attached to that. I'm going to do a brain fart. I forgot her name. She gave me an opportunity to come on a podcast. I think it was like 2021, 2022. She heard about what I was doing at a Miami-Dade public school here called Robert Morgan's Vet Tech Assistant Program. I speak at that school for the last 3.5 years.
Cuban.
Basically, in a room full of students who want to be vet techs or vet assistants, right? So every time they hear my story, it gives them an opportunity to realize that there's avenues to take in this profession where you don't have to be a veterinarian. Look at the route that I chose. So come onto this journey, have that same passion you had as a young age, especially at the high school level with animals, and find your way of doing something attached to the animal kind of aspect to it. So again, that spawned on me in 2022 to be like, you know what, Alex, I want to start my own charity organization, which I did.
Yes.
Thank God to the great people over at the CARES. That's the Companions Animals for Reform and Equality. It's a BIPOC-led organization. Jennifer and James Evans, I love
James.
them.
Yep. I met James last year. I met Jennifer as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they gave me the opportunity. 2022, they heard my story. They say, Alex, here's a check. Go set up your 501c. Get everything all legitimized, get your website up and rolling. We love what you're doing and we want to be a part of it. So James and Jennifer are always going to have the keys to my heart, man. Hey. They allowed me to create this platform, Adrian, where I plan on donating a clip trio for every animal that gets adopted from a rescue organization I plan on partnering up with. But most importantly, Adrian, I want even the everyday pet owner to learn how to safely trim their pet's nails at home, because it's not rocket science. They're going to be afraid of the process, but it's only a human process. We're going to make those same errors at the animal hospital the same way you're going to make it in your living room floor. So let's just set a standard to it and let's just show you the proper way of doing it. But main thing here, Adrian, is that I'm a big advocate for more vet tech and more vet assistant programs in our public schooling at the high school level. I think by showing these students the possibilities they could have in a profession that's backed by passion and a love for animals, which I honestly feel we all have as kids, it just slowly gets knocked away out of us, out of adulthood, but if you can have that same passion, that same dedication, and we could expose them to what's possible in taking care of animals, that's my way of kind of giving back to this profession that gave me a career to begin with. And that's my way of moving it on forward, but most importantly, it's a way of me establishing a legacy that if I can pass this on to my kids, again, it's a reflection point back to what my grandpa did to me, and a way for him to look down and say, I knew I was going to get to this point, Alex. Just keep pressing it forward for the family, No,
man. I love it, man. I can't wait till it hits the market, and not even because I want it, but just I think you deserve it, bro. You're BIPOC. You come from an immigrant background. You're in Miami. You're changing the world, man. You're a true founder.
The way I see it, Adrian, it's a no-brainer. I've done everything I possibly could up until this point. I've educated myself on some things that I was afraid to even get involved in, because for some reason I thought you needed to have a college degree, an MBA to get into this. And I realized, no. If there's something that I don't know, I'm going to educate myself on it and learn. Yeah. And learn and move on. It's not like because you get a master's or MBA, you automatically consume everything as if you know everything. No. To get to that point, you had to start with reading a book, educating on yourself in the process.
And then doing it.
And doing the work. And most importantly, the big one to kind of put the stamp on everything, Adrian, delaying instant gratification. That's my opinion on how I've gotten this far. And I may put this in the most lamest way possible, but the way that I saw of delaying instant gratification, I equated it to lifting weights. You're not going to get big as hell in day 1, week 2, month 1. Just keep doing the work. Eventually, month 3 is going to roll around. You're going to look and be like, man, I got some biceps and some triceps. And just keep moving forward. But delay that instant gratification of it's going to happen tomorrow. My mom told me that the ladder of success isn't climbed from the bottom up, or rather from the top down. It's from the bottom moving up. So I learned that eventually I'll get there. Let me just keep doing the work to get there.
No, I love it, man. So I'm gonna wrap here but I got a couple questions for you. But what you said, I think that delayed gratification at the end of it, what I like to, and we talked about this prior to coming on camera, but it's clarity. Everybody wants that clarity in life where they feel good and things are worked out and they know where they're going and they know what's next. But it's a process to that clarity. People want the clarity without the work, without the setbacks, without the people needed to support them, without all the things we talked about, man. And you put such a button on it in a real personal way. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. So look, tell these young people out here, and maybe not even a young person, maybe it's a person who wants to start a business. Maybe it's a person who wants to change careers, get into vet tech, get into vet medicine. Give them some advice, and you already have, but give them some more.
Definitely, if I could say one big stamp, just always remember your why. Remember why you're doing it, remember why you want to do it, and remember who you're doing it for. I think that once you put those three questions into kind of perspective and you train yourself to constantly think about these three whys, I think anytime you're confronted with a setback or a barrier, you go back to that why and you kind of tune in to realize, okay, let me shift that brain, let me shift that mindset hack, let me see how I can get over this barrier. But definitely go back to your whys, why you started this, why you wanted to do this, and why you're doing this for. And I think that's going to be like your moral compass and your aligning North Star. Just remember why you want to do these things and why you want to do it for.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. How can that is so Clip Trio isn't on the market yet?
So Clip Trio right now is not in the market yet. I'm hopefully looking to secure some funding in Q1 with some right people around me. Obviously, the good thing about me is that I've done everything. I know what I'm worth. I know what it's worth. I know what I can put in to get this to the next level. It's just about aligning and finding that right partner who wants to go on this journey with me. Ultimately, let's say if that does happen, Adrian, I'm probably looking at an October, November debut. If I can scale that back, August, I know there's a big convention that happens once a year in Las Vegas called Super Zoo. If I could debut at Super Zoo, that would be awesome. But I've learned along this journey, Adrian, that every time I set a goal and I achieve it, I never achieve it on my timeline. I never achieve it when I say it's going to happen, when I think it's going to happen. And I think that's the beauty about the journey is that 1 second you could be all down and like, damn, this ain't going to work. You never know who's going to call. You never know what email you're going to get. You never know what intro you're going to get. So it constantly keeps you up and moving. So hopefully I'm looking at a debut at Super Zoo. If that does happen, great. But I'm looking more towards the end of the year debuting.
Awesome, man. So look, maybe we got a investor on here, angel investor. Maybe we got some venture capital guys looking. Tell them how they can connect with you.
Definitely. So obviously you can go to the Clip Trio website. Obviously you can email me through there, or you can reach me at alex@cliptrio.com. You can find me on there on LinkedIn as well. I literally have everything set up, Adrian. I got a deck ready to go, a use of funds ready to go, my market entry strategy with some projections. I'll speak to whoever and ever gives me the chance, and I guarantee you any question that they have, I have an answer to. And if I don't have the answer, I will have it in 5 minutes.
Beautiful. Dude, I think you've been telling us a story. You've been doing this all your life, man.
Nah, you know what's funny? I learned all of this because it's my life story and it's organic as hell. And during the pandemic, I got to say this over 200 times, Adrian. I got to say my life story 200 times, which I equate to refining my story, but it is my life story. And those times, again, I got to mention my grandpa in it. So it just all kind of came back to where it needed to be, and it's at home, you know?
And do me a favor, what's the name of your charity? People may want to donate.
Pet Trio Charity. So Pet and then Trio, TRIO charity.org. And you'll see some of the initiatives that I got on there. One big project that I'm undertaking right now is to revamp that school's whole tech program. We want to put new desks, new lab equipment, and mock-up surgery area to truly immerse the students on what it's going to be like once they encounter the profession. And again, I got a proposal ready for that. Whoever's ready to go on a journey with me, let's bring it to the table.
Dude, this has been engaging. I mean, I knew you were going to be engaging when we talked to you. You said that you would come on, so I appreciate you coming on. But you're the real deal, man. And we're obviously going to stay in contact. But don't ever stop, bro. And I look forward to seeing you be extremely wealthy and have all your dreams come true. Your mother set and comfortable because she took a took not even a risk, but showed how much she loved and supported you. You're a leader, bro. Keep it up.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Real quick, let me show you this because I had to show you this.
Yeah.
And I'll go mobile on this one. On my door. This has been on my door since 2016. On my door, leaving my house, I told myself what I wanted to do with my first million. And it's buy my grandma a house, buy my mom a condo, set aside some money for my son's tuition, pay my house off. And at the end, I wanted to buy myself my milky white Porsche Panamera. Hey. But that idea has changed, and I want to get the electric Taycan.
Oh, dude, so I'm a Porsche fan too, man. I want the Taycan, but they got a new one, and I'm going blank on the name. It looks like the Panamera, but it's the coupe. It's like the hatchback. What is it?
The Turismo one. Yeah.
Dude, we're going to the Porsche dealership together.
Hey, you're gonna love this real quick. So I used to do this early on, Adrian. I used to go to the collections in Miami, Coral Gables, and I used to sit in the Porsche Panamera. They used to kick me out of there because they know damn well this dude can't afford to get this dude up out of here. But I used to go there to sit there to manifest this and bring this into realization. I definitely now want to go back, sit in that electric one, because I feel that the next time I go there, I want to have a check in hand and just tell the salesman, hey, let me get that white one right there with the red interior. Let me get this baby boy out the door.
Woo! Dude, hey, call me when you go because I'm going with you. It's gonna be we're gonna hit this jackpot at the same time. Watch. You know what, man? Good citizens of the earth. Look, this has been an amazing conversation. I think today we've got exactly what the show is about: mindset, emotional intelligence, and intentionality. He just showed you the goals on his wall that's been there for almost the last 9, 10 years. 8 years, and they're coming true because of his curiosity to say that I'm capable and I'm going to learn how, that allow him to create something that's a better mousetrap, along with charities and everything else and changing the world. And then he's been extremely intentional about the steps, and he's delaying gratification of his life. This is emotional intelligence personified. Alexandre Contreras.
Thank you.
You've been a pleasure, man. We're going to catch up offline. Everybody go support him, cliptrio.com and Clip Trio Charity.
Pet Trio
Charity. Go look him up, support him. Thank you, man. Love you. Have a great day. Good citizens of the earth. We'll be back next time. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.
About life now. Turn on the light now. The Emotional Pet Guy Podcast, yeah. Talking about life now. Turn on the light now.